This is a video I never thought I would even have to make, but let's talk about why Disney is falling off a cliff. Now, as many of you can see from my background and the fact that I carry a lightsaber, I am a huge fan of Star Wars, Marvel, and all things comics, not just the Marvel properties. I'm a big fan of DC and all that type of stuff. And the past couple of years has been tough for fans like me. Now, many of my counterpoints here online are going to say that this is all going bad because of the message, we know what I'm talking about, and the woke direction that the company went in. And to be fair, honestly, I don't mind wokeness as long as it's done good, where it's entertaining, right? And I think in Disney's hope to push this narrative, they forgot to tell a great story. That's just what happened. They literally forgot to tell a great story. They forgot what got them the success from these properties, like what happened with Star Wars and Iron Man and Captain America. People had to fall in love with these characters. And Marvel and Disney put the time in to develop these characters so we can fall in love with them. So let's talk about Star Wars. Star Wars was amazing in the past, and I think it's the way that George Lucas developed Star Wars, right? It was a classic hero's journey. Luke Skywalker, who was a boy in some sand dunes in the middle of a desert, he enjoyed the heights of success in the first movie, A New Hope, right? They had destroyed the Death Star. Then the second movie showed the hero's struggle, right? He had to struggle with the Empire winning in some battles, his arm being chopped off, him finding out that this was his father. All of that stuff was packaged in there to show that, hey, even that immediate success, that was just fool's gold. You have to actually work and learn and develop into the hero you want to be. It's not something that's just going to happen. It's something that you have to work for. And in the third movie, we saw the completion of that hero's journey from, living in the desert to now a full-fledged Jedi, understanding what this whole story was about. Now, the overall lesson was about strength and belief. Remember, Luke didn't actually kill the Emperor. It was his father. But he gave his father that strength by believing in him. You are a good man. That's the whole crux of the story. It took 3 movies to show Luke's literal transformation and understanding on how to be a Jedi. Starting with his training from Obi-Wan to Yoda. He didn't wake up a master, right? He struggled to become one and eventually became one of the greatest. And the MCU did the same thing. Tony Stark. Remember his first movie? Nobody knew that was going to do well. And we had Captain America. And we had all of those movies introducing those characters and introducing their individual journeys to where they all came together. And then we had the first Avengers movie, which was a huge success because each one of those individual characters we all bought into. We all saw their struggle to get to that point. But the higher ups at Disney, like Kathleen Kennedy, said, hey, we want to push the message. Women could be heroes too, and that's why you saw them wearing those t-shirts. The Force is female, right? The Force is female. Okay, fine. A noble mission. I can get behind that. But their problem wasn't the ending. It was the journey. Let's talk about the new Star Wars, for example. Rey. She is essentially the new Luke Skywalker. They didn't change any of the story, right? She's from the desert, Luke's from the desert. It's essentially the same exact story. Matter of fact, the movie, The Force Awakens, is the identical movie to A New Hope. It essentially changed nothing. Right? A nostalgia fest. Now, this is where things went bad in the new version of Star Wars. Because instead of having Rey go through a journey with struggles to achieve something great, to learn how to be a Jedi, they made her great already. And at the end of The Force Awakens, think about this. Rey, who had never even held a lightsaber, beats a Sith master. Trained by Luke Skywalker. So then she goes on to try to be properly trained in the next movie, but she really never does. Then by the end of the 3-movie set, she's beaten Palpatine in a one-on-one fight. Something that Yoda, Luke, and even Vader couldn't do. But her secret was that she was a woman. Now, this lack of depth in her character and in all of the new ones turned fans off. Then Disney went all woke to go all broke. Remember, the story didn't even matter anymore. It was irrelevant. It was all about pushing this message. And the message was to turn every male character into a woman character by 2025, or to replace them with minority actors. And that's where you get the term the MCU. Let's go over the list. Iron Man to Ironheart, Thor to Lady Thor, Captain America to Captain Britain or the Black Captain America, Hulk to She-Hulk, Luke to Rey, Loki to the female version, Hawkeye has a female version, Black Panther is now a woman, Ant-Man has his daughter who is now a woman, and it goes on and on and on. Now, Disney will tell you that fans are rejecting their new direction because the fans are misogynists. And that's far from the truth. See, the fans are rejecting this because they are not telling good stories to make us fall in love with these replacements. They are literally shoving it down our throats and demanding we like it. Now, let's just keep it real. Something like what, 90% of MCU fans and like 90% of Star Wars fans are women, right? It's overwhelmingly so. Just like I see something like 90% of the Barbie fans are women. Men are going to watch it, but we're really talking about women who want to watch Barbie. And we're talking about men who want to watch Star Wars. But I think what Kathleen Kennedy did, she's like, hey, I'm a woman, I like Star Wars, so we're going to market this to women and try to make men seem like they're irrelevant. But now, as a man who watches these things, I'm looking at it and say, well, you've done it. You've made it so bad where me, as a man, I don't want to watch it. Not because you've just made everybody in the movie a woman and tried to force this message down my throat. It's because the story doesn't make sense anymore, right? Women, those women have to still live in the reality of the world you've created. You can't make Rey the Mary Sue. Mary Sue being someone who just picks up a lightsaber and is able to be the best ever to do it, right? Natural talent. That never happened in any of the Star Wars movies. Why for Rey? Just because she's a woman. You know, at the end of the day, I think it's crazy that, ironically, the two worst performing movies in the Marvel Cinematic Movie history are The Eternals and The Marvels. Both were directed by minority women. And if Disney's goal was to show that minority women could direct successful superhero movies, they've proven that out to be wrong. They've proven that out to be wrong. Now, I don't believe that as a general statement that that's wrong. I believe there's probably great female directors who can create some great films in the MCU. But Disney's kind of proving that to be wrong. And by, I think, pushing the message, the message that, you know, we got a female director, we got this, and then having the movies bomb, that didn't help anybody. That hurt the cause. So, ironically, Disney, by trying to go ultra woke, has actually harmed the minority female director more than it's helped them. But those are my thoughts. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to all the great YouTube stuff. My name is Nate Deloy, and I'll see you next time. Peace.